Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Geeky Philosophies. I'm your host, Quan. Today, we'll be trying to finish up the D&D sector, or trying to finish up as fast as I can. We're diving right into our neutral side. We're going to dive right into the middle, known as the true neutral. What I like to dub as the animal, the person who really focuses on just, or a creature that focuses on pretty much themselves, focuses on just survival. I'm gonna turn this here and make sure I'm not as a corner all the time. There you go. Look at those awesome shoulders. That's good. All right. So, what words ring true with true neutral? I'm going to kind of go at a different approach before we get into the commandments and the sins. Most of the time, what rings true with a true neutral is they could be diplomatic, but also judgmental. They could be enigmatic and also aloof. They could be distant, but most of the time, they're always self-reliant. What are the commandments of being a true neutral? What dictates what a true neutral is law? Well, one of them is it shall avoid lies. So basically, in reverse aspect of it, it always tells the truth. Always. Or it doesn't even say anything. It's not telling the truth. It's not saying anything. It shall not kill the innocent. We've seen this trait before. But as usual, especially as we go deeper into certain codes of other beings, remember, innocent is a little bit different through some people's eyes. But it also says it shall not murder. Or will it murder? We don't know. We'll see. It shall help needy only if it helps itself. So this is the one that truly looks out for itself. It's basically a true animal. If it doesn't help itself, it's probably not going to help much. It shall honor those who honor itself. So kind of going back and forth on it. It only help people only if it helps itself. It only honor those if they honor them. So that's one way to do it. It shall follow laws unless breaking the law can advance it without harming others. So once again, focuses on itself, but it'll follow a law, but if it needs to break one, it'll probably do it for advancement. That's mostly its thing. Remember, it's looking out for numero uno, looking out for main one. Shall not betray others unless its life is in jeopardy. This is where it possibly may get a little bit shaky. Because if that's the case, we know a lot of henchmen, a lot of people who've been in movies who could possibly be labeled as true neutral in a way. True neutral in nature. We even may know some good guys that seem a bit cowardice, but they could be true neutral in a sense. But it shall not betray others unless its life is in jeopardy. Only when its life is in jeopardy, it'll be like, nah, I gotta do this. That's the only way. True neutral. It'll aid those who aid itself and harm those who harm it. So the other term that I came up with this with true neutral is it's a creature that is based on karma. Pretty much, if you don't mess with me, I won't mess with you. And that's how we're going to play this role. But as soon as you mess with me, then I have to mess with you. Not in any kind of meanness. But as soon as you mess with me, I mess with you. Whether you mess with me in a good way or you mess with me in a bad way. I have to mess with you. That's how true neutrals are. They're basically creatures that are the exemplified karma. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. That's how they are. Whatever you do to them, good or bad, they'll do to you, good or bad, in that same vein. Shall not promote extreme viewpoints. So this is the neutral rule, which is basically they'll pretty much most likely take the middle ground. They will not be like, oh, it should be like this, it should be like that. Nope. They won't go for the extreme sides. They'll only focus on the middle ground, the possibility of what can help mostly everybody. And the last commandment is it shall advance itself without harming others. So this kind of goes with one of the rules that we went over before, but as long as it's advancing itself and is not harming others, it's cool with that. It's cool with that. Let's go with the sins now. Sins. One of the sins that sticks out from this is persuading others to take a stance on a moral, ethical issue. Pretty much it takes the middle ground. It, even to a point, it can't play devil's advocate. It can't go like, well, if it was this and this. No. It doesn't go, it can't really persuade others to take a stance on a moral, ethical issue. Because technically, anyway, it kind of doesn't have a true moral or a true ethical issue. It's just based off of karma, pretty much. Failing to assist a friend or ally or breaking word. Now this is kind of something that makes it a little bit contradictory, because on the one hand, it doesn't want to fail to assist a friend or ally, but if that friend or ally happens to get them in danger, it breaks that law. Keep that in mind. How some people could be true neutral. To where if you get them in danger, if they face any kind of danger, they'd be like, nope, you're left. That's how that works. Killing for any reason other than survival. Protection of self, pretty much. This true neutral could also be pretty much, I guess, in some cases, the color MTG black when you really think about it. When you really think about it, because black has no limits. But this one, as long as it doesn't have to kill unless it threatens its survival, unless it threatens its life in some way. If it threatens its life, it'll probably take it out. And that's how I can kind of see it. If someone's endangering my life, pretty much that's how it views. If someone endangers my life while I'm doing something and I don't usually kill, I might take them out because they're endangering my life. That's how true neutrals act. Another rule that they have is needless torture. That's an interesting gray area right there. Needless torture. It does not do needless torture. So what is purposeful torture then? We'll keep that in mind. Making a sacrifice for someone unrelated to you. So, in a way, if it doesn't consider you its family, if it doesn't consider you its blood in some form or fashion, it will not risk many things for you. You have to be part of its family. You have to be part of its blood. You have to be in some form or fashion in that regard, blood or related to it, in order for it to be like, okay, I'll risk for you. But if you're not, then it's not going to do it. It makes it a sin if you're not that. Refusing to kill when important to survival. This goes back to the other part. This kind of reassures that this pretty much making the full circle, which is just that it won't kill unless for reasons other than survival. But refusing to kill when it's important to its survival. So this is why I call it the true animal. Because animals, they don't kill because, They do it for joy. They don't kill because I got this trophy. No, they kill because I'm hungry or I'm in danger. That's usually how true animals kill. And that's why I dub true neutrals pretty much the animal in a way. It won't kill you unless either A, you're its source of food and it's hungry, or B, you're putting its life in danger. True neutral. And the last rule before we dip out is, oh wait, no, I got a couple more rules. I don't know why I read that. Betray an ally or friend unless life is in danger. We already talked about that. Showing mercy to dire enemies. So once it considers you an enemy, it cannot show you mercy. It cannot. If it does, it's against its rule. It causes it a sin if you are an enemy, and it shows you, and he shows you mercy. Keep that in mind. It's a very interesting thing to keep. Is that if you're an enemy, it can't show you mercy. And once again, bouncing back to, I guess, one of the first rules, taking sides on a conflict that doesn't affect your survival. Pretty much, as long as its survival is intact, it doesn't play devil's advocate. It doesn't try to convince you that this side's better than this side. No, it doesn't do that. It's just like, okay, keep the middle ground. Nothing wrong with the middle ground. Just don't put me in danger. That's the thing. Hope you learned. Hope you took in a lot. I know I did. Those were some interesting tidbits. Once again, if you like this kind of content, please like, share, subscribe. If you want this for D&D references, please kind of like this as well. I'm kind of doing this through a lot of the other philosophy personality types. Pretty much after I get done with the D&D alignment, because you already know that the MTG alignment's going to be long. Like I got dual colors, and then I talk about pretty much tricolors if possible, and see how different tricolor groups or stories have a little bit of an influence of how a person of that stature works. But it looks like I'll be done sooner with the D&D side than I will be with the MTG color side, since that's still vast beyond compare. And when I get done with that, when I get done with the D&D side, I think I might lean toward the Hogwarts side. There's a lot of things that I've been kind of peeling, kind of seeing. And of course, if you're curious, I'm a Slytherin. I took that Hogwarts house test, Slytherin, which fits a lot into some of my description. I'm very ambitious, but I'm also very focused on self-preservation in some ways. But I'll tell you the truth. But we'll get into that when that realm comes into play. Until then, I'm your host, Quan. Hope you enjoy. Deuces.